Okay, let's talk about the whole issue around the global business place of food production, which is into a serious pressure right now, because there's a whole lot about the supply chain, the logistics, which are under pressure on the heels of the rising inflation, of course, led by food prices in many emerging and frontier economies, including Nigeria. So from Russia to Canada, Malaysia, United States, and here on the continent, adverse weather conditions are hitting food production harder, and there is even more. This is a dinner time conversation. And joining me for some perspectives into this latest global development is one of Nigeria's renowned agri specialists, Africanfarmer Mogaji the CEO at Farmcredit.ng. African Farmer, thank you so much for coming through. We understand how snarling the vehicular traffic is in Lagos at this particular time. So sometimes you got to have a whole lot of food in your belly to make it through the Lagos vehicular traffic. And that's part of the food situation. How bad is the situation right now? Oh, not about the traffic, by the way, but speaking to the world food output or production. What are you learning, globally speaking, from big producing countries such as US, Canada, even palm oil production in Malaysia?
Well, generally, Nigerians think, food, the prices are just going high in Nigeria, but it's global. First and foremost, across the globe, we have a challenge of aging farmers. We hear of a lot about Africa having aging farmers. Europe has more aging farmers than Africa. And the US also, you have most of the youths not engaging in agriculture, and you have over 60. So generally, a number of people in the agri sector is declining. Climate change is not helping globally, and the effect of COVID is what we're actually seeing now, because yes, combined that way, like I said, climate change. So people can't farm like they used to. Production has declined, and so everybody's trying to hold on to whatever they have. So it's not looking good globally. It's not looking good globally at all.
Is it all about output or production or supply chain and logistics and weather conditions?
Well, logistics also, because inputs across board, many agri organizations globally have challenges, many. Take, for instance, like in the US, the potato value chain, the dairy value chain lost so much, and everybody is just trying to cut down. So in the process of cutting down and reducing their exposure, that's why we have what we have now. And because many organizations have exposures to financial institutions and, where they've gotten finance, it's a huge challenge. People are cutting back.
Do you think the global virus pandemic is also to blame for the depressed world food output?
Yes, we also would give it to COVID because none of us was prepared for it. Name the coaches, the mentors, the financial analysts. None of the farmers, none of us have seen COVID before. So yes, we're learning, and I'm sure if we have another one, I don't pray so, we'll be better equipped for that. But that is a major reason why the world is where we are today.
Well, the latest report by the U.S. Department of Agriculture shows that population increase in a number of countries as a factor to food shortage, including Nigeria. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. It's though unofficial, but during elections, census, there seemed to be a spike in childbirth, especially in Nigeria. So keeping everybody home for like 2 months across the globe has definitely increased population, and we need to feed more. That means more baby food, which is basically corn and soya. So definitely that's also adding to it.
In terms of where the pressure is right now, what agri-commodities are most pressured right now at the marketplace? Let's start from the global space. Russia with wheat, Canada, United States, weather conditions as well impacting some of the grains family.
Yeah, so with corn, and soya are three global grains that is consumed both with the industrialist and individually. And so those three really have very heavy blow on because we don't have enough globally. And most of the people who have storages across the globe also, they are also being careful. Don't forget last year, during the COVID, the pressure on COVID, India and some other countries also refused to export their rice because everybody is just being careful. So, and production is low. The weather condition across the globe this year also has been challenging. We've not had rains. America is faced with a lot of challenges with drought and trying to sort out their farmers. So everybody's just being careful and preserving what they have right now. But back home in Africa, well, basically,
South Africa, that's just where we're going after the break. Just hang in there. African Farmer Mogaji, thank you so much. We'll be right back with you until everyone stand by. Yeah, welcome back. The world population is increasing, and that means more mouths to feed, especially children and youth. This is true in a number of countries, such as Nigeria and the rest of the continent. Let's bring it all home. My guest, African Farmer Mogaji, is concluding this two-part conversation now. African Farmer, let's continue from where you stopped about the consequences of food shortage in the short to medium term. Our increasing population here in Nigeria with a number of nuances that are peculiar to our own environment. Where is the price of yam right now at the marketplace from the farm to my dinner table? You should know.
Well, it's average of 1,500 above, but mostly 2,000 to 3,000. Yes.
A basket of yam or
No. One tuber of yam.
No, I just wanted to rattle you there. And folks will be looking for you tomorrow morning to say you got a basket of yam for 1,000. Not even in, I'm not sure about the 80s, but today you didn't get together. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so, but on the average, a tuber of yam of 2,000 naira now, a family of 4 will consume it one day and probably the children. But Gari also, before the lockdown, a pint bowl of Gari, which is like 3 kg, was 350 naira. After the lockdown, it was 700. As I speak to you, the low quality is between 1,500 to 2,000, and the premium quality is about 3,000 naira. Mackerel in the market, smoked mackerel in the market, used to go for 500 naira. Now it's 1,000 naira. Everything has gone up with an average of about 100% each. But also, you know, the flip side of that is, yes, there's a lot of pressure, but also it opens up opportunities for us to look inward. Cassava, currently, they sell a 50 kg sack of cassava in most rural villages across the country. It used to be 1,000 naira in the deep suburb. Now it's average of 4,500 to 6,500, especially when you get closer to Southwest. So bottom line is things are going up, but the opportunity also is that people can launch into it better. Gone are the days where you're trying to get the private sector and the financial institutions to pay attention to agriculture and its value chain. Now they don't have a choice because productivity of their staffs is gradually dropping because they don't have enough money to take care of their needs.
The opening part of this conversation earlier, the question I asked was, how bad is the situation of the world food output and production right now, going with inflation? How do you think this will go down with the civil societies in the short to medium term?
I don't see it really coming down. It's really going up, because the major food produce that affect us globally is produced with rain, irrespective of the technology or the advancement in any of the developed world, is produced with rain. And rainfall is a challenge globally this year. And don't forget, last year, people didn't produce and they cut down because of COVID. And so this year also, it's almost getting to From next month now, many of the farmers can plant globally again, especially for the major grains. So it's not looking good. But yes, many of the reserves would have to be opened in anytime soon.
So what are we doing in Nigeria and within the West Africa as far as food storage is concerned, and if we have any reserves that can take us through the weather and the immediate period ahead?
Well, for West Africa, yes, there's some storage, taking care of West Africa, but most of those storage also is mopped up from Nigeria. According to the FAO report last week, neighboring countries around Nigeria, that's Cameroon, Chad, Benin Republic, is very badly affected with climate change and food storage. So they would look into Nigeria. And so West Africa, it's not really looking good with our food supply for 2021, 2022. And all of West Africa depends on Nigeria. And so that means that there's going to be higher, they will bring in more money to buy, and we would have to contend with what we have. But storage is really what we need to go after. The irrigation projects that we have in Nigeria, we have farmers who understand fadama and irrigation. We need government and private sector to go all out for them, especially government, to ensure that efficiency and productivity in all the river basins in 2021 is an average of 80%. If we don't embrace the irrigation projects across the country, and every state has a major irrigation project, the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Water Resources the federal government needs to conduct a marriage between them very fast and for them to work together. If not, and the umpire has to be CBN and some of the private sector. We just need to work together now. We can't work in isolation. We need to work together and trade together across West Africa, leveraging on major points.
So right here at home, Nigeria, do we have enough to be mopped up to put in our reserves in terms of food? How soon do you think the food inflation will begin to go down, considering what you know from the farm to the market?
Well, the truth is it's not looking good across board because we have challenges of banditry, kidnapping, EDA issue, insecurity. Yes, it's not looking bad. However, I've said this. If federal government misses the next 2 weeks, July, to really come out with a full-blown campaign to give the private sector some direction, 3 months from now, it will not be good because we don't have reserves. Because we didn't produce enough last year and previous years, we've not been mopping up enough. So, and we have more industries springing up, competing, and we have higher population also. So we need the government to come out to give direction to the private sector so that we can go in. Don't forget, quite a lot of big players and mid players had challenges last year, either access to market or access to input or access to their farmlands because of COVID. So we really need government, and now CBN seems to be the one championing agric. So we really need a game changer from the government to give a clear direction. We need some orators to come out and begin to talk and give direction. If not, it's not looking good. There's nothing to mop up. The more they mop up, CBN mopped up, Federal Ministry of Agriculture mopped up. As they're mopping up in scarcity, the prices will be going up. Yes, we heard they've stopped, but bottom line is that we still have these 2 weeks, till 3 weeks, if you ask, to fully engage almost all land operations with technology to use what we have to get what we want. It's looking bad, but I know Nigeria, when we determine to do anything, we go all out and we get results.
Part of what you spoke about, Africanfarmer Mogaji, earlier has to do with the irrigation and the river basins authorities. Now the BP a few days ago and the Minister of Water Resources spoke about privatization or selling some of these river basin authority development to private sector. Is it better late than never? Do you go along with these privatization plans?
I personally don't believe in the privatization of the river basin. I've been a river basin farmer across this country for 21 years. So I know my onions when it comes to the operation of these river basins. Most of these equipments are very massive. Most of the parts are not readily available. It is still government. There can be a sort of PPP arrangement, which is actually the policy that set up the river basins. But before they finish that process, we will be finding ourselves in deeper challenges of hunger. So for this year, next year, government still needs to take it over, but bring in private sector to run it. Overhaul it and let private sector run it in a PPP arrangement, but they should not give it to private sector, because the moment it is fully in the hands of private sector now, and I'm saying that because there are challenges of food supply currently. If it was 3-4 years ago, yes, but right now, government still needs to come in. The aids need to come in now to those river basin projects. If not, if it's private sector, it's strictly commercial. I should be talking in favor of private sector because I'm private sector, but bottom line is that what we have now is not a situation to bring in the private sector. It's a situation to have a collaboration with private sector, but not to release all these equipments now. They can face it, maybe a 5-year, but not now. Nigeria needs government to take responsibility of those river basins. Very crucial.
Okay, give me your final word on the current global food prices. Do you think if we lay our hands on a vaccine, we can push back on the virus? Do you think we'll be in a very good shape, at least between now and the early next year?
Yes, if we lay our hands on the vaccine, because it's basically fair. The third wave, fourth wave is really what is making people hold back, knowing fully well that they had challenges last year. So if we get to know that there's vaccine out, everybody will go and take that risk, knowing fully well that food security and the food challenges we are experiencing globally, that all the governments of each country will focus on the farmers to give them the jobs so that we can be food secure and life continues again.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your insights on the global food output this evening. Africanfarmer Mogaji, CEO at Farmcredit.ng. Thank you. Thank you for making it through. We appreciate it.